Great, welcome back. Alright, so we've opened up the UDK and we're going to start importing our character. So first thing that we want to do is we want to come in here and go up to our window, or I'm sorry, view, browser window, content browser, and we're going to go down to the import button. And we just want to navigate to our data folder, open up SuperBob. The package will be your name, so for me it's Josh, and then the word assets. Grouping is going to be character, and you want to remember these. You give a name, SuperBob. Okay, so I recommend opening up a notepad, and you're going to write down the package name, which is Josh Assets, or your name Assets, dot character dot SuperBob, or the name of your character. So it's the package, the grouping, and the name. This will make it easier we can just cut and paste when we're doing the scripting portion. So click OK. There's SuperBob. So just go ahead, right click on Josh Assets, go ahead and save it to the content folder under UDK game. And it'll bounce up and we'll find it under UDK game content, Josh Assets. So we want to also import our textures. So those, after Mudbox, we save to our images folder. You're going to take in the character underscore N for normal and character underscore D for diffuse. So select them both, click open. It's going to ask you where to send them. So the package is going to be your package. The grouping is under textures. The character name is character underscore D. We want to make sure that the compression settings is TC default. I had opacity in my hair, so I want to check on that opacity. So TC default. We don't want to create a material. Do not. We'll do that by hand. LOD group is character, because this is a character. It's 2048, so we want that. Two-sided for me because of that hair, again. Click OK. It's going to wait for a little bit, and these are pretty big files, so there it goes. And then the normal map LOD group is character normal. Okay. It doesn't necessarily have to be two-sided, so we'll take that off. TC default needs to be switched to TC normal map, just so it knows it's a normal map. Alright, and click OK. Wait just a couple of seconds here. There it goes. Alright, so we want to save our package again, because it has that asterisk, so that means it needs to be saved. Okay, and as soon as it compresses, there it goes. Let's see, and we're going to right click, select new material, going to give it the grouping of material, and the name is going to be the name of our character, so SuperBob underscore capital M, capital A, capital T. Make sure it's a material, click OK. That opens up our material browser. We just want to pull that to the side so we can see our content browser as well. Going to select our diffuse texture, hold T on the keyboard and left click. Same thing for the normal map. And that'll bring our textures, there it goes, into the material. We want to just left click and drag on the black box from texture to the diffuse. There's our diffuse guy. Same thing for the normal map. Alright. And for me personally, since I did have hair, I'm going to switch on two-sided. I'm going to scroll all the way down to material interface, and under preview mesh, I'm going to type in SuperBob, the name of the FBX that we exported in. Oops. Let's see here. Told me that the material was not valid for skeletal meshes, and that is in usage. There we go. So use a skeletal mesh. Just go ahead and turn that on. This last build of UDK seemed to start doing that. So there's our mesh. If you hold L, you can move the light around. Okay, that's just left click and drag. So we can see the normals. I wanted to go ahead because I had opacity in this, as I want to change it from blend opaque to blend soft masked. And my alpha on my texture goes into opacity mask. There we go, and the hair, there we go. You can see the little strands of hair there. Great, click on the little check mark, saves out your material. And then we can close out of the material editor. In our Josh assets, go ahead and save that. Now we want to get our material on our character. So what we can do is double click our character, move the anim set editor to the side, select our material, In the anim set, lower material, click the green arrow, and bada bing, there's texture. It's got a blue highlight around it, and that's okay. Once we get out of the material, that'll go away. So to make sure that our rigging came through completely, we want to go down to the origin. Under Z, it's -65. We want to get the grid lines kind of intersecting in this middle. And then under rotation origin or rot origin, the yaw should be set automatically to -90. All right. And we are ready to go ahead and check out his animations. So in the anim set, that drop down should be under Mario anim set. There you go. Nothing stretching off. That's a good sign. At the bottom of this, you can click that little line, get repeated, and there's his fall animation. So he's just nodding up and down. Yeah! There's this jump, run. It's the run. If you hold down L in this, just like the material editor, you can move the light. So we just want to make sure there's no stretching. If you follow it along with the rigging, you shouldn't have anything stretching out on the side. If you do, it's not a problem. His thumb's a little winky there. So if we ever need, let's go ahead and save. If we ever need to redo our rig, say something is just going horribly wrong, we can switch back to Maya. We can always go ahead, just select them, and let's go ahead here. Let's make some changes on the hair. So I'm going to go to paint skin weights. Yeah, let's go back to select the hair, hit Y again, bring up our paint tool. So I'm going to rebind most of the control from the hair. I'm going to make it a 0.8 control for the neck, and then a 0.2 control for the head, that top bone, because that's what's nodding the head when he's falling. So that's still a little too much control that head bone's getting. Yeah, I'm not liking that. So go back to bind pose. Let's go back to the paint skin weights. For the head, let's give it something like 0.05. Flood that. And the neck, let's go to 0.95. Oops. Very important to hit enter when you're done with that. Flood that. And check that out. Yeah, so the hair is going to be going up and down a little bit, but not the entire face. So go to bind pose. Never want to re-export with a different bind pose. Always go ahead and set yourself back to bind pose. So for the skull itself, we're going to go to the neck. We are going to just absolutely obliterate, check that down to 0. We're going to have the head bone do absolutely nothing there for it. Let's go back to value 1, and there we go. We're painting all that control for the neck. And don't forget the eyes. It's a little odd of a color. So we're going to select everything, and we're going to go to File, Export Selection, just like we did. Find ourselves in the data folder. We're just going to write over that FBX, SuperBob. Okay. Nothing's changed since the last time you used it, so go ahead and replace that. Excellent. In the UDK, we just right-click and say Reimport Skeletal Mesh. That takes that file and just re-imports the changes that we made. So if we go to Anim now, and we go to the Mario Anim the Fall, and take a look there. Now his face is twitching a little bit, but now it's just mostly his hair that's flapping in the breeze. So if we need to make any... Yeah, so his hat, Mario's hat kind of jiggles when he does any of that, and that's what the head bone is used for. So that's why we just wanted our hair basically connected. Face is a little weird, but let's head back to Maya, take a look and see. It was kind of a weird color when we were painting it. Let's make sure we got that completely 100% white. The opacity was down just a little bit. So I'm going to paint that over in white just real quick. Okay. Select that guy back again. Oops, root bone, mesh, and hair. Let's export that selection. Excellent. Come back in here, re-import the skeletal mesh. Check that out, and there you go. So this is what you're going to be doing for most of the afternoon, is we're just going to be adjusting, getting the rig as nice as possible, as smooth as possible. Always going to be some glitches. If you want to take a look and see how it looks in the game, go ahead and save that file. There it goes. And save selected. So we're going to go through here and open up our computer, C drive, UDK. We're going to go down to the 2014, the February version, development, source, and we're going to open up the Mario game classes. And we're going to scroll down here and find Mario Pawn. That's what's going to be controlling. This is all the scripts for everything in the game. So Mario Pawn, you can open this up with Notepad. Notepad++ is what I use. WordPad, Context. I have a whole bunch of scripting programs. So Notepad's going to do. I'm going to open up in Notepad++. And all we have to do is scroll down until we see a reference to a static mesh. It's almost at the bottom, and it's begin object class skeletal mesh component. So skeletal mesh equals skeletal mesh Mario assets characters Mario. So that's why we got the Josh assets character Super Bob. We just need to replace everything in those quote marks. There you go. Save that out. Spelling counts, capitalization counts. So if you have a script error, it's probably because you misspelled something. So we're going to also go back in to the UT game folder, classes, and we're going to find the UT family type Lilandry mail. Family info, I'm sorry. Family info Lilandry mail.uc. Open that up with Notepad. That has the character mesh, skeletal mesh, Mario assets, characters Mario. This is what we see inside the editor when we're playtesting. So just go ahead and replace that as well. File, save. Close that out. We want to restart our UDK editor. It's going to ask us to rebuild scripts. Go yep. And just wait while that does its thing. It's analyzing. Bada bing, bada boom. There it goes. 0 errors, 0 warnings. That's what you want to see. If you get any errors, again, most likely was a spelling mistake. Or it's referencing a package that doesn't exist. You could be calling it, you could be looking in the dot materials. Depends on where you made the transcript error. So we're back in here, world properties, let's see here. Want to make sure in game type that you have game type supported for Pi is Mario Game Info, and default game type is Mario Game Info in the world properties. That way, when you save that current level and you go ahead and playtest, you should be able to see. I'm going to select this, press home key so I can zoom in. When you right click and say play from here, there you go. There's your character. Running around, jumping, having a grand old time of it. Okay. So you got your character in. The very final portion is just baking out the level so you can take it home as an exe file.